My name is Hector Rodriguez, and I am the CEO of the Chicago Huntsmen. At the beginning of my career, it was all about being the best. It was about being the best competitor. It was about making the best content. It was such an early time in YouTube that you sort of wanted to mark your place and solidify your spot for the upcoming years. And so we did. We set out to be the best sniping team out there, and through word of mouth and through some of the videos that we created, we were able to generate the buzz to let everybody know that we were here and we were here to stay. All it took for us to get jump started in everything that we've done since, all it took to get that jump started was the possibility and the vision of being able to make a living off of something that you love doing. I love creating, whether it was video, whether it was art, whether it was, competing in a clan match. That was a creation that we needed to document. That was a creation that we needed to create content around. And for me, that's all it took. It took a passion, it took the spark, an interest in something that was new. And that's all I needed. That's all I needed, that's all we needed, that's all we've ever needed, truly. To this day, we're creating content for content's sake. Everything else is a bonus. So you could say that we've done what we set out to do. We've accomplished what we set out to accomplish. But we're still working towards what we feel we need to work towards as we create content for everybody to enjoy every single day. See, I'm watching the.
Wait, why are you starting the video off for my channel? This is my channel now.
This is when we announced Nate Shot moving to right down the street from where I was at. And from the beginning, we knew that we wanted to be near each other. From the beginning, we knew that we all wanted to be near each other to actually build something cool. And we knew that collaboration on YouTube was like important. And in doing so, we sort of put my audience in front of Nate Shot's, and we put Nate Shot's competitive audience on us. And it was this perfect marriage that created this perfect storm to create and begin the scene the scene that you know today, even the franchise league that you know today couldn't have been made possible if we didn't put so much focus on content and we didn't put so much focus on being popular. I knew that I wanted to have people that were willing to create content because that was the wave. In this day and age, eyeballs mean everything, and I knew that very early on. Therefore, I put a lot of focus on being able to create a brand for each and every one of my teammates that will sort of feed up into the bigger picture. And then from there, it was gonna make it easier for us to be able to get sponsors or to truly sell t-shirts, to fund the team, to help pay for the travel, to help pay for, streaming equipment. I mean, you name it. We were super, super scrappy at the beginning. And that's something that I'll never, ever forget because it was such an important time that led to such amazing things. This is a good clip. This one, Nate Shot moved to right down the street from where I was at. The basement came from there, collapse came from there, and it was like feeding oxygen into a fire. It just lit it up so bright that even to this day you're seeing the effects and the echoes that have happened since then. Good times. To get the 60/50 house, it was super hard. It got to the point to where Judith and I were gonna be moving into an apartment or to her parents' house or my parents' house so we can give them our home in order to do that. At the time, this was just the very beginning. There was no money in this thing. The only money that we had was what Judith and I were making from our old work or from her work, obviously. And for us to get approved to get another, on top of our mortgage, to also get approved for a house and pay rent on that, the math didn't work on there, right? Our expenses didn't make sense, our income didn't make sense, and how we were going to be able to afford our house and our mortgage and also that. So luckily we were able to find this private person that didn't need bank records, didn't need anything. She just wanted money in advance and money to be paid ahead of time. And that made it possible for us. Immediately after that, I went out and secured our first sponsorship that paid for the house, and then the rest was history. If you thought we were big before, once we got together, once we went into 60/50, it exploded. And I mean it exploded. We're at the top of Twitch. All 4 channels that we launched that day that we went live from that house for the first time ever, we took up the highest viewed channels on all of Twitch. Do you know what it would have taken? I mean, imagine what it takes now in this day and age to be able to be at that top. It was the exact same thing back then because it was level playing field for everybody. Everybody had been around just as long to be able to do that. It's crazy. Like it was that it was instant gratification that your idea, your thought, your vision, you and your teammates' vision, what we thought could work, worked. That same day, we didn't have to wait for it to build. We didn't have to. We knew it was going to work, and the day we turned it on, it worked. There was no growing period. It snapped that same day.
Think what's going to happen?
Yes. Yeah. Back in 2012. I mean, back in 2010. Back in 2009. I mean, from the beginning, before we even stepped foot in competitive Call of Duty, we knew that I knew that it was going to look exactly like it looks today. I hoped for it, right? Was I sure that it was going to happen? No, of course not. I hoped for it, but did I see it happening? Yeah. I remember going to a Bulls game with my wife and then seeing the opposing team coming in and immediately putting those 2 and 2 together, saying, this is what it would look like if I met this gamer tag in person. And I'm like, oh my God, and that's his teammate. He's good at this gun or this, that, and the other. Like I knew, I made the connection immediately. I made the connections of audience immediately. I didn't look at the numbers on the bottom of the YouTube screen and said 10,000 people saw this or 20,000 people. I said half a stadium saw this, a full stadium saw this video. That's what I saw from the beginning. I made the connection immediately, and the rest it was just like, making it work. When you know where it is that you're going, when you know where you want to land, when you make that jump, everything else is so much easier because you see the path. You see what it's going to take for you to get from here to there, and everything along the way just happens to be the part of the story. But once you know what it is that you want in life, once you know that you want to get there, it's easy because you have a goal. It's easier to identify what it is that you want and go after it than it is to just start walking and just hope for the best. So a clear vision is what I had from the beginning. I knew what I wanted and I did it till it was done. So I lived the dream that I wanted to live since day one. ASAP Rock.
This video, filming this in JCap's old room here. I'm pretty sure Matt's streaming upstairs, and I didn't want anybody to hear this conversation before I was able to post it on YouTube. But I have decided that UMG Philadelphia is going to be the last tournament in my
We knew this, right? Like even before he made this video, like I know he says like, I want to make sure that no one's around. Like we already knew that. We'd been talking about him doing that for a while. And unfortunately, the last day of UMG Philly, and as he was retiring, like that entire day was spent filming. I have all the footage of me holding my Rebel T5i and recording Big T's interview while he was being recorded by MLG as he was retiring. That's also the same event in which Seth left us for Envy. So it's like we call those the dark times overall team because it was Big T retiring, such a big pillar in our story, retiring from competitive Call of Duty, the GOAT at the time retiring, and then Scump, our star young up and coming player, just like leaving to another team. It was a sad time, but I don't know. Now I'm glad that it happened because it's part of our history, right? Like we went through some trials, we went through some tribulations, people left, but at the end of the day, like they came back, and it's good. It's good to know that where you are, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, right? I think Seth saw that, and I think we all did. We didn't like the other side of what it was like to be without him. We didn't like it, right? But we were just gonna make do with what we had, the way we always have. But he came back, and the rest is history. But it was a dark moment in our past. So for me, the second that this sort of revolving door of who's going to replace who, and we went through Clayster, Embos. I mean, we had all these players that came through the doors during all this. And for me, it was difficult because one, I had to rebuild the team, but I knew that we had such a good thing going with content that was my number one priority. Content was going to lead us to continue to be profitable, right? Because we were profitable from the beginning. We didn't have any sponsors, any real big sponsors that sort of tipped the scale in either way. We're making enough money off of YouTube that it allowed us to take the sponsorships, only the ones that we wanted, right? So for us, it was one, keeping the wheel and the wheels turning on this machine that's working, this content machine that's having so much success that it sort of allowed us to not worry about championships. So that championship caliber team that we always look out to see, we were comfortable in saying, you know what, that's going to work itself out. We need to continue to concentrate on the content. That's what's going to attract players. Because when you have a big brand, nothing benefits more than to be able to translate and transfer eyeballs to the next player. That's what made us so appealing. That's why we were able to scout such talent. The reason that we got the talent that we got was because what we build attracts players, right? We have something to give other than just a salary. We have eyeballs. We have the ability to help your brand grow. And that was something that nobody else could keep up with, right? So that was what made us so appealing. So, you know, in building that team, I knew that was going to be easy if we concentrated and we kept up with what the good thing was that we had going with content. So we made it all about that. We made it all about content, and the rest was going to take care of itself. You know, I think that what made us as relatable as we were was the fact that we had such, I don't even know how to explain it. We had so much in common with the people that we were showing videos to that it just made us more popular. And the more that we were open, the more that we shared in front of the camera with such consistency, the amount of content that we were uploading made us friends with people that we have never met. That relationship was built because they saw us every single day, and we saw the comments every single day. We saw the numbers, and we saw the work that we had to do. At that point, we became entertainers. At that point, we were there to entertain somebody for 10 minutes. We were there to have breakfast with people. We were there to have lunch with people. We were there to fill a void when somebody was driving somewhere by themselves. When you have a voice that you can talk to or you can interact, whether it's you just sitting there listening or whether it's you laughing at something that somebody said, when you have that, there's a friendship there that's developed. A one-sided friendship that would be a two-sided friendship if we were in the same room. But obviously, we can't be in every person's room, and the easiest way to do that was to create one video that went out to so many people all at once. And that's how the relationship happened. That's where the fandom came from. I don't think it was fandom as much as it was relatability and friendship. That's what made us just regular Midwestern people, old dude, young kids. They all came together because of video games. Like that speaks to everybody. Like when the people saw the players play, they saw somebody that they knew or somebody that they were reminded by, a cousin, a friend, a brother. And because of that familiarity, because knowing every single person's name, what car they drove, what style they were, their favorite music was, that sort of relatability like touches deep, so much so that you want to see them succeed because you know them. They may not know you. I may not know all of you, but I know that we have a relationship. And because of that, you want to see me succeed the same way that I would want to see you succeed. And that is the very definition of what it takes to build the fandom that we built, the relationship that we built. That was crazy.
That's the psychosis. Moving Scump around a little bit. He's not fooled though. Hold the trigger discipline. Tagging up a second player. Can't finish the kill. That's Lacefield. Formal catches Ace. Ricky still with overdrive. They shut down Karma. Last man standing is Formal. Ricky pops the overdrive with just 7.5 seconds to plan. Can he get there in time?
That crowd was so insane. That crowd was so insane. I remember sitting in the middle of all that noise. I remember sitting in the middle and just being engulfed. If you've ever been to the beach and you've been in the water when the waves are crashing, and you're in the middle of it, and then just two waves hit you all at once, that's what it felt like. That's what it felt like every single time that crowd chanted, every single time that crowd roared. You were engulfed in it. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. Everybody cheering for one thing together, and that one thing is yours, and you're in the middle of it. Oh my God. We should have won that. That round was the round. Not the last one where we missed those shots, which were super close, but this one. This is painful. There's no way around it. Like, I get to relive this for such a long time, forever, right? And again, it's part of the history, it's part of our story, so I don't mind it. But it was brutal. If I can describe the feeling that I had sitting amongst those waves, putting your head down and feeling every single one of those waves, every single one of those water droplets, eyeballs on you, just looking at you with your head down, as yet another year your dream just got taken away by a small minute decision, a gunfight, a coin flip. The disappointing, the air got sucked out of that theater. And the disappointment that I felt was magnified and amplified times 1,000 of those same people feeling the same feeling, that same feeling that I had of disappointment, multiplied by 1,000, because every single body energy, every single aura inside of that theater sitting all around me, like, just imagine just everybody just looking at you. Like, what happened? How? All I remember is silence. No one talking, no one cheering. And I remember the pats on the back as I have my head down, just not being able to believe what just happened. And then feeling lost. Feeling lost because immediately after that, I had to take what I only consider a walk of angst is the way that I think I described it in Crossroads. A walk of loneliness, because you know that what you're feeling from your seat through the tunnel to the back of that room is bad. You feel that walk is bad, but you know that what lies around the other side of those two doors when you open them is worse than what you're feeling right now, because it's not just you anymore, it's you plus the people that just let themselves down. I feel it right now. That swallow, I felt it right there. I feel it. Every single time I relive this moment, I feel that tightening in my chest. I feel that angst. I feel the disappointment. I feel the sadness. I feel hopeless. And I'm sorry, I feel helpless, because I know that I'm not going to be able to say anything to my team to make them feel better about what just happened. And that is the worst feeling, where you're not able to help, when you're not able to provide comfort, when you're not able to provide laughter, levity, nothing. When you're not in the mood for it, that's even worse. That's what we experienced. That's what I just felt. In those 2 minutes and 30 seconds that I just watched, I went through 20 minutes to 30 minutes of just pure sadness, magnified into 2.3, into 2 minutes and 35 seconds. I don't know I don't remember exactly how it felt to be knocked down. I think that when we got knocked down to losers bracket, I think it was like here we go. And it sucks getting used to it, right? It sucks getting used to that disappointing finish at champs. It sucks getting used to knowing that you're not. Like, when we got knocked down the first time, it hurt. When we got knocked down the second time, it hurt, but you got it. It happened before. You've experienced that fear before. So you're there. The third time, the fourth time, I mean, you name it. You know, you sort of become immune to the feeling. Like, it's there, the regret's there, the sadness is there, but you get used to it and you become immune to it. You become immune to what, you just focus on the next day. You focus on the next championship. Immediately you have to get over those obstacles. You have to get over those disappointing moments as fast as possible. And if you can train yourself to say, we can do it again next year, or we're gonna get another shot at this, it makes it a lot easier. Does it suck? Yes. Does it hurt? Yes. Do you feel sad for a couple of days? Yeah. But you don't let it overtake the goal of trying again and getting up and doing it again over and over and over until you achieve. And once you achieve, guess what? You're not done. You have to achieve again. It does never end. You chasing something that you want, you chasing something that you need to have, it never ends. As long as you're trying, as long as you're going for it every single day, that's what you chase. That's what you go for. That's why you get up in the morning. Capturing it, grabbing it, taking it, that's the bonus. That's the cherry on top. Has been cemented. This Call of Duty, you know, it was, I didn't know how to act. I didn't know how to behave. I didn't know what, you know, for the first time ever in my career, I didn't know when it was okay for me to join my team in celebration. They've been chasing it for so long that I wanted to give them a moment of we did it together, those four guys, because nobody can take that away. I did as much as I could from behind the scenes. I helped as much as I could from behind, but that doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter your walk of life. It doesn't matter how you were raised. It doesn't matter who died, who's dying, who's sick, who isn't. It doesn't matter. All the worries, like what you got to do, like your girlfriend, it doesn't matter. None of that matters when you're competing, right? Like you leave everything on there, right? It doesn't matter. Like the competition, your ability, your skill, that's all that it culminates to. That's all that matters in that very moment, nothing else. So I wanted to give them those, and I don't know if I gave them enough time, truly, but I couldn't help myself. I was sitting back there for the entire match. I was sitting back there just, again, sitting in angst, knowing what the outcome could be, and I know how used to it I am. I know the conversations I was going to have with fans and players, and I knew what it was, right? But I didn't know what it was like to win. I didn't know what it was going to feel like to win that one. Because we win nonstop. That's all we do. We win, right? We're always competitive. But we never know what it feels like to have the ring, to hoist that trophy and say, we did it, we won decisively, this is us, best dynasty team. This solidifies, cemented in the history books, the best dynasty that's ever existed with those 4 players in that particular moment. Haters are going to say that it was other ones. Haters are going to say this other one. Look, you can say that all you want. You can say that to appease the people that call you a fanboy because you like this team, or you can appease whoever you want. Okay, but deep down inside, you know that what you're saying is a lie. You know that deep down inside, that is the best team that's ever existed. Period. We have a guy on there that won 3 times. That wasn't a mistake. That was meant to be. Did it feel great? Of course, it felt amazing. I don't know. It just felt like another goal that we needed to accomplish. And once you accomplish it, you know, you're on to the next boss. You're on to the next level. You're on to the next adventure. And once we got that one, we wanted more, right? So we got to work and we started working again, and we work every single year to win champs. We'll win along the way, we'll lose along the way. That's just the way things are. But we chase it again, and I'll continue to say this because I truly do believe it. We get up in the morning to feel and enjoy the feeling of the chase, going after it, who you are as a person, who you didn't think you were as a person. To admire other people, your teammates, to be that close to greatness, to be that close to somebody who's been so successful and still working his ass off every single day, that motivates me. And that's why I get up. I get up motivated because I know that the people that I'm running with are working just as hard to accomplish something that we want to accomplish. Even though we've done it, even though we've accomplished it, even though we've done it in the past, even though we'll continue to do it, it's never going to end. This chase, this hunt for greatness is never going to end. You know, you chase for perfection. You chase to have something great. You want to be a team that wins every single championship on the way to the main one, and you win the main one. That's where you go. You go for perfection. Right? Because this never existed, it's never going to exist probably, but chasing for it makes you a better person, and it trains you for everything that you're about, not just in gaming, not just in content creation, but in life. You know, when your discipline is to be great or attempt to be great every single day, it doesn't just stop in one particular aspect of your life that you want to be. You know, like in my chase to be the best content creator, the best CEO for whatever that means in this industry, to be the better teammate, like it also made me a better father, made me a better husband. It made me want to be competitive, to be the best in every single aspect of my life, not just one thing. It's contagious. Hanging around people who strive to be great in their perspective and great in my perspective. I may not have the abilities that they have, but I can certainly do it in other ways, and chasing is all that matters. It's contagious. There's nothing that makes you stop being great at everything when you're great at one thing, or chasing that greatness. It's never really great, but chasing is what makes it great. And it's a great feeling, chasing it, wanting to be it, picking a goal and going after it, picking 3 goals and going after all 3 all at once. Like that is what gets you up in the morning. That is how you rule your day. By being the master of what it is that you want to do and chasing the accomplishment of doing it, that's the ruler. That's the rule that you live by. That goes beyond just one thing. It's everything.